Good evening, everyone. Nightwalker here. And this is gonna be a little bit of a different kind of video because I think it's time for me to explain what is the project I'm working on for my first project. And it's something looking along the lines of this. This is made in GZ. This is made in a different engine of GZ Doom. I'm going to be using Godot and Blender, like I've been showing in other videos. What I've been doing in Blender is a little bit more than I need to do in this. This is very boxy, very simple. Texturing it is probably going to be the hardest part, but it's stuff like this. And enemies like that. And you can get this for free. You can you can get it right here. You don't need Doom to already have it. You can just download it and there'll be a link in the description to it. This is very awesome stuff. This is inspiration number 1. Inspiration number 2 be something like Treyarch zombies. Their wave form of zombies is simple enough for me to handle. I wanted it to be top down, but I realized it's just not going to make a cool environment. It's not going to be worth it to do top down. I have to just get stuck into this and just commit to it. This is finally like an explanation of like what is going to happen. It'd look like this. There's some pretty cool stuff. And all of this is going to be under GZ Dune's limitations. So like you can't stack environments on top of each other because I don't know if you know this, but Doom is actually a 2D game. I'm serious. Doom is a 2D game. I can link a video that explains how Doom is a 2D game, but it's really brilliant how it works. And you might not believe me, but I promise you, Doom is a 2D game. I did not believe it at first, but I will not have that kind of limitation. Very cool. Lots of stuff that you can do, and it won't have the same limitations. Difficult part is just getting an artist, and that'll happen later. That will happen far, far later. I will eventually have like a full mind map made, but this is how I'm going to show games going forward in this idea. And I'm going to expand upon this for what I'm going to send to a team that is going to look more along the lines of like a, I don't know how you call it, like pseudocode map. But stuff like this, and then like just expanding it on outward is how I'm going to plan on showing stuff from now on. And I might show some basic boxes to like rooms or like locations here and there for how it's going to continue. But I have like an idea of what I'm wanting to make that is going to be simple in graphics and simple in mechanics. Just focusing on like making it exist first, just make it exist first, you can make it good later, is what I am going to be doing for just work on the coding first. I might work on 3D like PS1-esque enemies later, but I just want to see if I can get in this Doom-like format first before I start messing with like 3D. What I had planned in the official document that I'm trying to work on to give to everybody else, there will be buyable find-up power-ups. So what I wanted to do is have controller integration to begin with, like from the start. You'll be able to play it with controller. Things don't move forward unless they can work with controller as well. That's a major anchor for this to work because I think that something like this should be played with controller as well. Some people are going to be more comfortable doing that. It's going to bug the crap out of them if they can't do that, even if they're playing on a PC. They want controller. The basic names I have for them are just liquor, tonic, elixir, ether. This might be just relegated to just file names. The idea that I had is that you would go up to something, and to select it, you would use the arrow buttons, the D-pad, arrow buttons, or 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that to be able to select them. Melee is something I want to have more often of. Hitting with a gun, with a knife, axe, having melee matter more, because I just think that's just so fun. Just like destroying zombies. I'm loving that Resident Evil 9, just like stabbing into them. There's so much cool stuff with that. And that would make it hit harder. Liquor. Something to increase speed of moving around and reloading. Something to make regeneration happen more so that you don't exactly have like a juggernog situation, but you can regen kind of faster. What I wanted is that regen from getting hit would happen very slowly to punish getting hit. So you'd be able to survive like 3 or 4 hits, but once you get hit, you're kind of hurt for a while. Your regeneration of that is slow. And then for a single player situation, another life to regain. Or once you run out of like 3 of those, like it does for its quick revive thing, you just gain a little bit more health. Not a significant amount more, but just a little bit more. It wouldn't be like it gives you a extended health. I'm trying to avoid the classic beloved Juggernog thing. You just get more immediately with a cooldown. All of these would happen on a cooldown. How that is going to work, I may not like reveal everything of the plan that I'm doing just in case there's some other developer that's trying to like snipe my idea, but I want to give enough to seem transparent so that I am actually telling you what is going on. I want to try and have some ideas 3D, but there might just everything is going to start in the cruddiest way and then go from there. Just make it exist first. You can make it good later. Once I have a good idea, people will add to it to make it better. It needs to show I need to show I can make something first. Various items and containers. This is how it would go. You go up to a container, interact, it opens up. You interact one more time to pick it up, if not pick it up automatically. And then bam, you just have it. So just like how moving around in Doom is built around to be like fast and you just immediately pick stuff up, so too is this supposed to happen like this. I understand that what's supposed to happen in that Treyarch Zombies style has to happen fast. It's got to be fast. Being able to pick up a limited amount of items means exploring the map becomes more interesting, and you aren't just looking for the crafting part shoved in some dumb location. I promise things are going to be in sensible locations, but to make sure that something isn't in a ridiculous location, it now has to be hidden in plain sight with a whole bunch of other things. And at least one of every single one of these for free if you find it. So you might be able to get one of these for free. Inspirations I'm thinking about is Left 4 Dead. Doom, obviously, and Treyarch Zombies, to take inspiration from these and to come up with something that is none of these things, but plays off of their strengths. Also have a workbench to take a weapon to add more damage, a more alternate ammo slot. That's something else I want to do, alternate ammo. A limited but powerful amount of ammo. It might go anything from armor piercing to something like explosion, something ridiculous. And then how you would switch an alternate ammo, how I wanted that to happen is that you would just hold down reload instead of just tapping it. You'd hold it down for like 2 seconds and then reload the gun with the alternate ammo that you have. Clip size, stock size may be subject to change, and I'm okay with taking ideas from folks and crediting them in a special thanks so that you have a workbench to make stuff better. Some of this might have it to where it might not all be about weapons. It might have to do with just like might be dedicated to crafting armor if there's just not enough things about guns. Ritual table would be like your pack-a-punch, but a little bit different, as it would be much more powerful. Probably not just 2 times the weapon's damage and a reskin, but instead of making it look like it's some candy gun what I would want to have it look like isn't supposed to be something dumb and edgy. It isn't supposed to be like, I don't know, like some jelly crap. I think the skins are just terrible in a game that no longer takes itself seriously. Not that it ever really fully took itself seriously, but now it's like an adult game not taking itself as seriously versus purely just a kid's game not taking itself seriously. The vibe has definitely shifted in the later stuff. What I would want the gun to look like is just sort of like rotted, strange, twisted, other stuff like that. What I'd really kind of wanted it was that it would look rusted and eaten through, with the mechanics inside being exposed and moving around in some clunky, bunky way, as if somehow it has become old and deteriorated, and yet is stronger, seems hot, with like heat waves coming off of it. It isn't supposed to be just having barbed wire on it looking edgy and stupid. It isn't supposed to be silly. It's supposed to look, well, undead in a certain way. Modified, different. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for. This might be different per map, but I really only have one large map set up with a bunch of other cool stuff into it that I want to have set up. One of the things I had wanted to have for this was also an impermanent generator, but something you don't have to worry about too long. Something that if you aren't refueling it or feeding it, it's kind of your fault because it's awfully generous. It's just something about like maintaining power isn't just a given forever indefinitely, but you will have to get it on somehow. So I'm trying to make it flexible to what your needs are. You would have all four in any vending machine that you come across, with a little bit of like a cooldown as it like refills or remakes something, so that you may have to run to one machine and run to the next machine. This will not be the same for if other players are playing, because I would like to make it multiplayer. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible, but I would like to make it multiplayer. The cooldown would only affect one player at a time, so someone isn't going to like rage bait you by using the machine, getting down, and then reusing the machine. It's not going to work. One thing I didn't mention that I do want to explain is having it to where revives are a limited thing that you can get more of, is an idea that I've had for this. But you can either use it on yourself, because if you get downed, you're like, all right, that was my fault. I'm just going to use this on me. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go all the way clear across the map to get my ass up. I will just do it myself. Just get the ghouls away from me. I know everyone's going to say zombies, but like, get the ghouls away from me. Or you can use it on another player. But if you use it on another player, you can't use it on yourself. So you'll have the ability to revive other people if you so wish, but that means you can't revive yourself. So do you want to be stingy, or do you want to be a good team player? Because if you waste all your revives on yourself thinking, I'll just revive myself, it's super easy, your skills get lax, you become not a good team member, now you're out of them, and no one goes to help you out. So it's sort of like a choice involved. Do you want to screw over the other person, or do you want to take care of or do you want to take care of that other person? Is that other person worth doing this? Do you want to save revives for team members that are actually going to matter in the long run? Or are you going to try and take it on the noob? Are you going to have mercy on the guy that picked up the ray gun? Or are you just going to leave him to die? Like, because you can do that, no penalty. But I think that giving players a limited revive will really change the game, so that you can, mess with that. I'm also going to remove all of the Ubisoft-esque BS that I've seen in the newer games. There will be no mini-map. There will be no There'll be none of that shit. There might be a random box, but it's so iconic, I might just not touch that and replace it with something else. I'm really gonna see if I can push things to where there is no random box. You do have to understand how the map works and where to get things. You should be able to work with the guns that you have, the limited guns that you have, to improve them, because I don't want to make a million guns. I want to have you be able to upgrade guns how you like, so I have to make less stuff. So I don't have to make as much stuff. I don't have to pay an artist to make as much frames of animation of 2D stuff. I don't want to do that. It should look stylistically like older style, but without like a HUD, without like a health bar and a mini map and all that crap. It should look like, oh, wow, here's this item flashing, super cool, arcade style. You know, kind of funny, kind of cool game, but retro, but not hand holding. That's what I want to put on there. So I'll put that like on the mind map somewhere. I don't know if everyone is gonna pick up on this, but I'll just have retro style and respectful as of now. I have a whole document on this, but I just mean like I'm not gonna color it in yellow if you need to interact with it. There'll be ways for you to tell. What I can do in 3D, I will do in 3D. There may be lots of changes along the way, but I'm not going to have it as realistic as that toolbox. That is just trying to have me push ahead so I can kind of cut my ability in half for the sake of time efficiency. Right? Because taking an entire day to make this and that is not time efficient. Just slapping a picture on a few things would be time efficient. So from the next videos going forward, the 3D models that I'm making is going to be more oriented towards this project in particular. This is now like the main focus going forward for the game updating. I'm going to finish up the real document, send this out to various team members, and from this point going forward, this is going to be what I'm focusing on. So I've recorded Resident Evil Requiem and some anomaly stuff in order to have a backlog, because from this point forward, the whole shift is going to change to making the game. Going into Godot, programming the game, making the pieces of it, showing what I'm doing for this game. The next video that I have will have like the name of the game, a different playlist. At this point going forward, I am changing tracks. It's going to be development towards this game, maybe some homebrew that I'm doing if I'm comfortable showing that, and game playthroughs to bring people in and show that I like playing games. And besides those 2 to 3 things, that's what the focus is going to be. Spitting out a backlog while working on this game, while working on job-related stuff to push forward, and it's just going to be bam, bam, bam through the whole way. I'm going to shoot for a video of gameplay and a video of game dev, one of each for once a week. Now, I may have more extreme shifts that will change that, but that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing going forward. Changing life around this more structured way of doing things is going to be a big step for me to be more of the best me that I can be. An ever-running thing that just takes one step forward a day in order to achieve at least one change. More is better, but just at least one step forward. Always taking that one step forward. I hope that you can be the best that you can be, however you need to be, however fast you need to move, and I'll see you in the next ones in the future. Thank you. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a whatever. Comments is just what matters the most. Comment ideas, this and that you want to go from. And if I take it, if I like the idea, you'll get the credit, you'll get the heart, and I might pin a comment, I'm not sure. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next one.